The U.S. and Ukraine have signed a deal to share profits from Ukraine's critical minerals, and a federal judge has ruled that Apple has violated an order in Fortnite's antitrust case against the big tech company. Good morning. I'm Corva Coleman from NPR News, and here are today's top stories. The U.S. and Ukraine have signed a deal to share profits from Ukraine's critical minerals. The arrangement gives the Trump administration an incentive to keep investing in Ukraine's defense against Russia and in its reconstruction. President Trump has been demanding the deal.
And we made a deal where our money is secure, where we can start digging and doing what we have to do. It's also good for them because you'll have an American presence at the site, Chris. And the American presence will, I think, keep a lot of bad actors out of the country, or certainly out of the area where we're doing the digging.
But the agreement does not provide explicit U.S. security guarantees that Ukraine has been demanding. Money from the investment fund can be used to pay for new military aid to Ukraine. The U.S. Department of Veterans Affairs has ended a mortgage rescue program for veterans. NPR's Quill Lawrence reports housing industry experts fear that thousands of vets and their families will face foreclosure.
The Department of Veterans Affairs set up the VA Service Purchase Program, or VASP, to correct an error with the home loan program during the Biden administration that left tens of thousands of veterans facing foreclosure through no fault of their own. In the less than 6 months it was up and running, VA says VASP saved at least 17,000 veterans from losing their homes. But Republicans in Congress oppose VASP because it has VA buy up the troubled loans. There is a bill in the House to replace it with a different program, but there's no saying when that might make it into law. The VA has now ended VASP despite groups like the Mortgage Bankers Association warning it would lead to thousands of foreclosures. Quill Lawrence, NPR News.
A federal judge has ruled that big tech company Apple has violated a court injunction in an antitrust case. The lawsuit was filed by the parent company of the game Fortnite. The federal judge had ordered Apple to lower barriers for its once exclusive in-app digital transactions, and Apple was supposed to let developers show links to alternatives to those in-app transactions. The federal judge told Apple to stop blocking her order. Senate Democrats have failed to pass a resolution to effectively block President Trump's global tariffs. NPR's Elena Moore reports 3 Republican senators joined Democrats in supporting the measure.
The failed Senate resolution marked a rare moment of some bipartisan opposition towards Trump, but not enough. Republican Susan Collins was one of the senators who supported it. Before the vote, she told reporters she wanted to send a message.
We really need to be far more discriminatory in imposing these tariffs and not treat allies like Canada the way we treat adversaries like China.
Collins joined a small group of 4 Republicans in pushing back against Trump's tariffs on Canadian imports. Despite passing in the Senate, that resolution stalled in the House. Elena Moore, NPR News, the Capitol.
The Trump administration is moving to terminate $1 billion for school mental health grants. The Education Department says the grants conflict with the Trump administration's priorities. These grants were part of a gun violence bill passed in Congress. It allows schools across the country to hire more psychologists, counselors, and social workers. Harvard University says it has provided information on international students to the Department of Homeland Security. From member station GBH in Boston, Kirk Carapezza reports administrators are not saying what information was turned over.
Here's what we do know. The Trump administration had demanded that Harvard turn over detailed records for all foreign students' illegal and violent activities, or lose the right to enroll any international students. In a message sent to the campus community, Harvard Executive VP Meredith Wienick says the school responded to the request from DHS without saying what exactly was shared. Wienick reiterates Harvard's, quote, steadfast commitment to international scholars, urging them to stay focused on their academics. Last week, Harvard announced it was suing the administration over this and other demands, but now some faculty and students question the school's commitment to push back. For NPR News, I'm Kirk Carapezza in Boston.
The Trump administration is tapping more federal agencies to help carry out its immigration enforcement policies. According to the Washington Post, that includes using law enforcement officers with the U.S. Postal Service. The Postal Service has not replied to NPR's request for comment. A senior official with the Department of Homeland Security says the Trump administration will use all available resources to secure the border. Former Vice President Kamala Harris delivered a major speech last night in San Francisco. From member station KQED, Scott Schaefer reports she blasted President Trump's actions during his first 100 days in office.
This was Harris's first major speech since she and Joe Biden left office in January. Speaking to Emerge America, a political group that helps elect Democratic women, Harris said the Trump administration is counting on fear to divide the country while implementing a far-right agenda.
Instead of an administration working to advance America's highest ideals, we are witnessing the wholesale abandonment of those ideals.
The California Democrat is reportedly considering a run for governor next year, a campaign that would surely take her out of the next presidential election. She made no mention of either in her remarks. For NPR News, I'm Scott Schaefer in San Francisco.
The use of nicotine pouches nearly doubled among American teens between the years 2023 and 24. NPR's Maria Godoy reports on a new survey of more than 10,000 high schoolers across the country.
The researchers asked teens about their use of electronic cigarettes, vapes, and nicotine pouches, small, easily concealed sachets of nicotine that are placed between the lip and gum. They found that in 2024, more teens reported using nicotine pouches as well as using both pouches and e-cigarettes compared to 2023. Meanwhile, the share of teens vaping decreased over the same time period. The long-term health effects of nicotine pouches aren't known, but they do carry the risk of nicotine addiction. Prior studies suggest exposure to nicotine during adolescence may harm brain development. The research appears in the journal JAMA Network Open. Maria Godoy, NPR News.
I'm Corva Coleman, NPR News in Washington.